Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Special red letter day because I'm not wearing a t shirt or a hoodie. I'm actually wearing a button down shirt. It's because I had to go back to work today. Well, not that I haven't been working, but I had to go back into the school. So, this is part five, Getting to Know Your Rights, a very distilled breakdown, easy breakdown of your constitutional rights. So, today is the Fifth Amendment. Requires indictment by a grand jury for major crimes before trial. Forbids repeat trials for the same offense, or which is the double jeopardy. So if you've been tried once and found not guilty, they can't try you again. Now, like everything else, there's always a workaround on these things. Same offense. And punishment without due process prevents people from being required to testify against themselves. So, to quote Dave Chappelle, I please the fifth. So you do not have to take the stand to defend yourself because you may say the wrong thing. You might fall into a really good litigator could kind of box you into a corner and you kind of screw yourself on the stand. As far as punishments, over the years, there has been some studies, some research, some documentaries about the types of punishments that have been being doled out. But the idea is that, according to the Fifth Amendment, you get accused of a crime. If you want to punish me, you have to, for said crime, you have to go through due process of court of law, whether it's a jury or grand jury, how much evidence they have other than just you're being accused. Again, this is reactionary from the intolerable acts and actions of the British during the pre-American Revolution. But going to court, being able to plead your case, evidence, having not only you presenting your evidence, but also the prosecution or defense presenting their evidence, and then having the ability to cross-reference those. If you've ever seen My Cousin Vinny, this is a good time to go watch that. As far as punishments, I'm sorry, I lost my place in my little cheat sheet here. Punishments without due process. Again, you want to punish somebody, you can, you have to go through the court. Now, again, there's always these little finer points. Like you could, there was one particular case. It's not really well known, but there was a case where a guy got caught. I think it was a murder. They basically had him. It was basically one of those things like, you know that we know that you know that we know you're guilty. But in his plea deal, basically, he entered a deal where you would go do the time, but then officially the record wouldn't exist. It was a really weird thing. About 70 to 80% of our cases are done through plea deals, plea bargains. And in itself, that has its own repercussions. I believe it was, again, I want to mention Surprise, John Oliver, and Vice. They did some documentaries about how the public defender's office are overburdened. So you getting what's we call a fair trial might not necessarily be there. Again, the better, more money you have, the more problems you got, but you also have better access to law. And as far as the last one here, being required to testify against yourself, hey, not to turn things political, but this is one of the reasons why in Trump's second part two, the sequel of his impeachment trial, he didn't take the stand because the lawyers knew if he gets on the stand, he's going to rant, rave, he's going to kind of play in to the questioning of the prosecution, and it's going to weaken his case. So sometimes the best thing to do is keep your mouth shut. All right, so I'll catch you guys for part six later on. Still sticking with the legal theme of things, and I'll be talking to you soon. Have a good one.